Great prices and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
85.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, I can't hear you. I'll try a different way. But what up, boys and girls, and good morning. Happy Monday to you. What a weekend, huh? History in a number of places. Your final is set, and Aggie is the MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals. And the number 1 seed is out for the first time since 1999 at this level. And, oh, by the way, it's June. Happy June. How'd that happen, for crying out loud? It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, thank you for finding us on 95.9 FM. And AM 610, the sports animal. How you living?
Oh, what'd it do?
How was the weekend?
It was good.
Yeah. Yep. Big parties. But you did the air show.
Yes, we did that yesterday.
How was that?
That was awesome.
Yeah, that's good stuff. We were talking about that. We were out at the we gave out the backyard blow up on Saturday. The runner-up registered here on the Sports Animal. It was great to talk to him. The winner registered over on the Pit. But I take pride that one of the final 2 registered right here on the Sports Animal. So we gave that away. But we're looking at the skies. We're like, I wonder if they're going to do the air show. I mean, with the smoke and everything, and how hazy it was. But a lot going on, and boy, do we got a show for you today. 505-246-0610. I guess we start. We start with the good, the bad, or the ugly. I think the ugly. Well, let's start with the good. I mean, the Eastern Conference Final was good. Unless you're a Knick fan, it was good. It was a good watch for the most part. Pacers took care of business as they had to on Saturday night at home in Indiana. Rick Carlisle, the head coach of the Pacers, after the game said, in 49 other states, it's just basketball, but this is Indiana, and it's different, right? And New Mexico might be one of those, the next state there, but Indiana's different. And the Larry Bird Trophy, named after the guy from the Hick from French Lick, Indiana, who's been in the front office for years for the Pacers, goes to Pascal Siakam, the former New Mexico State Aggie. Did you see Halliburton? Did you see the video of Halliburton starting to walk forward when they were announcing the MVP? Did you see him? Like there's a clip. It wasn't on the broadcast, JJ. It was on, somebody had a cell phone video and posted. But he started parting the crowd, like he was back, behind his buddies, and he started parting the crowd and starting walking forward. And then you can see the look on it, and then he goes, "Oh yeah, hey, attaboy, Pascal." Yeah. I would have voted for Siakam. Would you have?
I have to dive into the numbers.
Yeah, I just, my eyes told me. And Halliburton was terrific, and so was Siakam. And Siakam in especially in that game early, and then it was game 4 they won. I thought he was terrific. Hallie hit that big shot in game 1, and I'm taking nothing away from him, but Siakam was terrific. And 31 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Halliburton had 21, 6, and 13 in the closeout game, but it went to the former Aggie. You always just give it to the stars. It's like the quarterback. It's become, it was going to be Brunson, it's going to be Halliburton, and it's going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I'm glad the voters went another way. I think they got it right.
I don't think it's one where I have a big reaction like it had to be Tyrese Halliburton. He had some incredible games in the series with the assist turnover ratio, what he was able to do, and the fact that you have two guys playing at that level is why the Pacers are in the NBA Finals.
Do you get paid for that? Like is there a bonus for that, or is it just the trophy and the distinction that goes on your resume?
I do not think there's any bonuses and or kickers like there are for regular season awards.
It used to be you'd get a car, right? Like it was sponsored by a Chevy and you get a truck or something. Used back in the day. I think they got it right. And for those of you, the Aggie fans are claiming him, and you should, man. He went to New Mexico State 2013, redshirted because of an injury. He was kind of a guy, oh, look, he's getting better. And he ended up, by the end, for the 2015-2016 year, was the unanimous WAC Player of the Year. He averaged over 20 points and 11 rebounds a game. And then he got selected in the first round by Toronto and became an NBA champion. And the guy went to the D-League, worked his way up. He led the affiliate in the D-League to a championship, and then was the NBA's most improved player in 2019, and won the award in the NBA and an NBA title in the same season, playing with Kawhi Leonard in Toronto. The only time Toronto's ever won. I mean, when you start looking back, I know this might be a stretch, and I'd love to have this conversation with Kenny, although I don't know that he'd give an Aggie that much credit. And I know that the Pacers are huge underdogs against Oklahoma City. JJ, if this guy continues on this trajectory and wins a second championship with a second team, are we starting to have a conversation about a Hall of Fame career?
It's dabbling in those waters.
Right? I mean, some of the guys that we talk about just put up insane numbers, but with this guy, he continues to get better. And if he becomes, and it's a long shot. I think Oklahoma City's, they're the overwhelming favorite in this. It's like, what is it, minus 750 or something crazy like that?
Big favorites.
Do you think it should be that big? I mean, that's OKC in 5 kind of range, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much the
sweet
level of favoritism that the Thunder have been rolling with throughout the playoffs.
Do you think they're that much better than Indiana?
I think this is going to be a closer series than that number.
I do too. I like Oklahoma City a lot. I think they've got basically everything, right? I look at Indiana, and they may be less healthy, if that makes sense. Indiana may be more banged up. You got to worry about Neesmith and the wear and tear. I like what Indiana is. I think they're gritty as hell. It feels like these are two teams like their superstars aren't superstars, if that makes any sense at all. Their superstars are stars. They are stars within their locker, but they're not to the point where, and I don't know if they'll ever get there, or they may. I don't know. but they're not like the big ego superstars, the big look at me guys, right? Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Tyrese Halliburton aren't those dudes. Pascal Siakam and Chet Holmgren aren't those dudes. Jalen Williams doesn't seem to be. These seem to be just total team. It's kind of crazy. The way the coaches have done it, smaller markets, and I get it. You know, everybody's yelling and screaming about the ratings, and I don't know why you give a damn about the ratings. Like, if you watch it, you watch it, and why do you care who else is watching it, unless you work for Disney or ABC? But I love the matchup. These are two teams that feel somewhat similar, and I think are pretty complete.
Yeah, and I think this really where OKC gets an advantage is they've done nothing but live up to their regular season reputation, which is really hard to do.
Yeah.
And that's be the number one seed that's blowing people out, that's winning by a large margin, that has really good defensive metrics. I think offensively, OKC is going to run into some trouble with the Pacers. I would still pick OKC in the series, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Even if they were to win, say, in 5 games, I think we're going to see plenty of close games in this series.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610 is how to get here today. I agree with you. I think we're going to see some close, and there'll be a blowout or two because there've been at every point. There's been blowouts. I mean, at every point in the playoffs there has been. Todd's ready to get it going on the email. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Todd says, let's play this SOB, Jeff. The season's gone long enough. Let's get these teams in the Sonics built and play the championship game. The former Supersonics. That's the Oklahoma City Thunder. The former Seattle Supersonics. Although they don't claim each other. The Sonic or the Thunder have the Sonics franchise records, right? Is that right? Like
yes.
So like Sean Kemp, Detlef Schrempf, the 70. I think they won in 71. The Sonics won, right? So the championships, all that stuff. I wonder, because I do believe the Sonics are going back to Seattle. I think there's going to be an expansion team. I think the next round of expansion goes to Seattle. Do they kind of do like the Browns did, right? When the Browns left and became the Ravens, but the Browns, all the records stayed in Cleveland. And that kind of stuff matters to a lot of people.
It does, and I'm sure there's a way to figure it out.
Yeah.
Just say, all right,
there's an easy way. There's a cutoff.
Yeah, and just separate it. Like, it doesn't matter if these guys played for both franchises. This is a new franchise, and
one was Oklahoma City, and one was it was. And I don't know if it matters, but yeah, Thursday is when they get started. So yeah, you got all week, and you can sit around, you can wait. But Thursday is when it gets started. All right, we got a lot of stuff to go through. The history that the Rockies made. I don't know if you watch any of the college baseball. But it was so good sometimes. Even the softball. I watched. Did you see Oklahoma down to their last out the other day against Tennessee? And the girl hits a 3-run bomb. They were down 2-1. Or I'm sorry, 3-1 last inning. 2 outs, 2 strikes. The girl goes dead center. Goes and Oklahoma. Like, Oklahoma's unbelievable in softball. Some of the college baseball. Did you catch Vanderbilt yesterday? Did you flip over to that?
not so super.
I don't even know why I was flipping around. I guess it was during the Dodger game last night, or during the golf tournament. Vanderbilt, the number 1 overall seed, got beat by Wright State. We'll get into all this stuff. We got the Pac-12 Mountain West split now official. We'll get into what that means and what we know. Lot to do this morning. 505-246-0610. That's how to get here. 505-246-0610. Your email is Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. On the Twitter or the X, it's _JJ Buck. And Adrian's producing. You can watch the show. ProView Network's YouTube channel, Xfinity Channel 26 throughout the state of New Mexico. And you can go to our Facebook page. You can give us a like, and you can watch us there. The OD in the AM. All just the OD in the AM. Hey, looking for some jewelry? Go to my jeweler. You're looking to get engaged? Looking for an engagement ring? Only one place. It's John Thomas Jewelers. If you're looking for something special for you, for your significant other, maybe a graduation gift, special anniversary gift, my jeweler is John Thomas Jewelers, and they'll be yours as well the second you walk into the door. Why? Because it's just different. Because the service that they have. Because the selection that they have. And if they don't have what you want, they will make it in their state-of-the-art design center that is right on premises. John walked me through the whole thing. He kind of showed it to me. the first time I went in there, and it's amazing. They don't have to send it to Dallas or to L.A. or anything. They got 3,000 rings right now. They're probably going to have something that you're going to love, but if not, they'll make it for you, and they guarantee it as well. They have the only lifetime nationwide warranty available here in Albuquerque. Go by and see why John Thomas Jewelers is the only 5-star Google-rated full-service jewelry store in town. They're the fastest-growing jeweler in New Mexico, and they have been voted the best jeweler in Albuquerque 4 straight years. This is really fun, though. They're the coolest jewelry store in Albuquerque. Actually, the coolest jewelry store in America. In America, named by In-Store Magazine. So many reasons. Go see for yourself why John Thomas Jewelers is the best jeweler in Albuquerque. They're on Louisiana, 1 block south of Manal, 3rd floor of the Lewis University building. It's 2440 Louisiana Northeast, Suite 310 up on the 3rd floor. John Thomas Jewelers, where Albuquerque gets engaged.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their...
The baseball was spectacular over the weekend. You got the Yankees and Dodgers going at each other. Dodgers take 2 out of 3 after the Yankees win last night. Aaron Judge and Ohtani. You had the College World Series, the softball stuff, and then you had the history. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. J.J., there's no getting out of the way of this. We were having a conversation last week when the Rockies were 9-45, I believe. Would they get to 10 wins before they got to 50 losses? And, well, yeah, I mean, they're going to win a game somewhere in Chicago or New York. No. No, they lost. They got swept over the weekend. The Rockies have lost 8 in a row. They have lost 13 out of their last 14, 17 of the last 20. JJ, 9-50. Like, it's almost you luck into a win, you fall into a win, you stumble into a win. Not this team. There's so much perspective to put this in, and you've got it all here. Let me give you. I want you to
just copy and pasted some of those notes.
Well, I want you to go through some of this, but let me give you one that's not on here. I gave it to you earlier, but for those of you, like I want you to put this in a perspective. Okay, since May, and it is now June 2nd, so a full calendar month, Colorado Rockies have won 3 games. 3. Since in that time frame, Scotty Scheffler has won 3 times on the PGA Tour. I want you to put that in perspective. Some guys don't win 3 times in their life on the PGA Tour. Nota Begay had a great career. He won 4. Scotty Scheffler has won 3 golf tournaments. He won the Memorial yesterday, won the PGA Championship, and he won the Byron Nelson. In the same span that the Colorado Rockies have won 3 games. You got to go.
That's shows how good Scotty Scheffler is, and just how ridiculous this drought is for the Rockies.
Go through some of this stuff because it's just mind-boggling sad. Historic, JJ, the worst ever. Or was it like the 18?
Like when you're talking 1800s baseball,
the Kansas City Unions?
Awful.
The Kansas City Unions.
They're still trying to figure out what to do and where you should put the bases and how you should throw a baseball. And
there he is on the mound. The Kansas City Unions are playing the Cincinnati Red Stockings here at Union Field.
There's such thing as an outfield fence.
There's no fences. It just goes to the parking lot.
Rolls.
The ball's rolling and rolling and rolling.
Oh, no, he hit it down the hill. He's going to run forever.
Oh, he stumbled in his wool stockings. Got caught in his... Yeah.
They're professional athletes.
They're 9-50.
They're worse.
It's the worst record through 59 games of any major league team in the modern era. That's since 1901. Okay, how do you get here? You get swept 10th of your first 20 series. Swept. The 10 sweeps, getting swept ties for the most sweeps through 20 series with the 1962 Mets, the 1970 Brewers, and the 94 A's. The third fastest team to the 50 loss mark. Oh, well, Jeff, only the third. Yeah, hold on. The other two teams who did it were the 1884 Kansas City Unions and the 1876 Cincinnati Red Stockings.
Half the team probably can't even throw a baseball.
1884 and 1876. The Rockies have not held a lead at the end of consecutive innings.
That one was crazy.
Yeah, this one's nuts.
Of all the stuff that you say, oh, this is crazy, this is ridiculous.
They have not held the lead at the end of consecutive innings since they led for the final 4 innings of their most recent win when they beat the Yankees 3-2 that Friday night, May 23rd. How? You punch a run over in the first and you hold the lead and they don't score till the fifth. What? I was listening. Who was I? I was watching Sunday Night Baseball last night. Who was it? Ravitch and Eduardo Perez. Is that who does those games? And they were talking about it's not going to get any better. He said because the Rockies don't ever blow it up. They don't ever sell their prospects at the trade deadline and get pieces in return.
It doesn't matter.
And
because of the Major League Baseball too, the Rockies can't pick higher than 10th because they've been so bad. So it's called the anti-tanking rule.
I don't even understand that. So tell me, I don't know this rule.
So Major League Baseball has anti-tanking rules.
Okay.
So
they're not tanking, do they? Just stink.
Yeah, it's stupid that in any sport you'd have rules on draft picks. Oh, this is going to make you compete. No, it's not. If you have a terrible ownership group that doesn't care. The Rockies can't pick higher than 10.
Why? Ever?
Because this year. Because they've already had high draft picks, so they can't pick higher than 10th this year.
There's got look. You're not. You're not tanking. You're just horrible. I don't know what to do. In the locker room, they're saying the right things, right? What do you say? Oh, let me give you one more. Can I give you one more stat that you didn't have? I remember talking to Josh Sushan, the voice of the Isotopes, about a month ago, before they fired Bud Black, 2 weeks before they fired Bud Black. And I said, Bud Black, the manager, is probably going to be the fall guy. And he's got to be sitting home in San Diego just going, I'm so glad I don't have to do this crap every day, right? They fired him, he got paid. And I remember Josh saying, no, I think they understand that the roster isn't sure enough. And 8 days later, Bud Black got tubed. Do you know what their record, because Bud Black was the problem. Do you know what their record is? They won the first night, right? They won the night they fired Bud Black, the day after. Do you know what their record is since they fired Bud Black? 2-17. They were 7-33 when they fired their manager, and Warren Schaefer, the former Isotopes skipper, is taken over, and they've gone 2-17. So obviously, Bud Black was the issue.
It was the organization pretending to care. But look, we're making a move. No, you're broken from top to bottom. It's not the manager.
Do you just want to see this? Do you want to see him go like 20 and 142?
At this point, why not?
That's what I'm thinking.
The ownership group doesn't care. There's no investment into the system. They never think outside the box.
So how do you change it?
They have to sell the team.
They have to sell the team. So sell it for billions of dollars and go.
Make your money, but you have to have an ownership group that actually wants to try to win. And you have Montfort, thank you. That they're making enough money. They're happy. They've been there for a long time. They know people are going to come out to the ballpark in the summer, and they're not really worried if their team's awful.
How can you be in professional sports at any level, and this is the highest level, and you own a team, and I get it, man. It's a business, and you're making money, and just be the laughing stock and be okay with that? How can you open the standings and see, wow, that's a really competitive division, and we're 27 games back? That we have the worst run differential in Major League Baseball by a mile. That we won 3 games in a calendar month. In a whole month. that a pro golfer has won as many times on the PGA Tour as we have won in a month. How can you, like, at some point, do you have pride? Because you say, so how would they respond to this? So if they were sitting here and you say, you guys, the ownership doesn't care, you just want to make your money, how would they respond? What would their defense
Well, they'd probably
be?
point out, well, look at the changes we've
What
made.
changes? What?
GM, yada, yada. But the numbers are out there in terms of just staffing the investment and the process from top to bottom, analytics there, like last in the league and that stuff. And it's the A's, the Rays, small market teams that have at least had moments and steal stuff from them. They're not interested in doing any of that stuff, trying to just do things differently because, yeah, it's going to be tougher at altitude, but player development has been awful. Like, you look at since, goodness, I'm trying to think of, you had that Nolan Arenado, 2 playoff teams back to back, which is just crazy to me. I'm thinking that, the 17-18, where, you
They
think
were
about
nice.
roster and what they're able to do. And since then, I can't think of like one prospect that's been meaningful. Like, yeah, Tovar, guys up there, but look at the first, second, third round picks the last few years, nothing.
I was watching, Mike Tolley is a big dude, but I was watching the game against the Mets. I think it was Saturday. And every guy comes up just like the Mets, every big league team you watch, there's these big towering dudes, right? Every dude looked like a middle infielder that came to bat. Everybody looked like, small, slap hitter. I don't know, man. It's unbelievable. But again, Scotty Scheffler, since May 2nd, has won on the PGA Tour. He's won as many golf tournaments as the Rockies have won games. That's my favorite stat of the year. 505-246-0610. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. When we get back, the Mountain West Conference is officially splitting. Jeff, we knew that. No. It is now officially splitting. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This traffic update
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to
teams to submit their formal resignation letters as well as $5,000 before the fees would double to get out after the next academic and athletic year. The 5 departing teams, Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, Utah State, all submitted their formal notices of departure from the league one day before the June 1st deadline. They did it on Saturday because the exit fees would have doubled from $18 million to $36 million. So the lawsuits are still out there, and the mediation is still ongoing. JJ, I do believe there was one thing that was relatively significant in regards to this. I mean, we all knew this was coming. There's no surprises. And I think there was some questions, well, with the litigation, are they going to extend the deadlines? There was no extension of deadlines. The fact that UNLV did not submit, I think, is significant for the Mountain West. As the Pac-12 continues to need an 8th full-time member, that's all sports member, to remain at their minimum for to be an FBS football league. Where were they going? And Texas State obviously still seems like it's going to be the team, but there's been so much talk about UNLV, and I think UNLV was a linchpin to keeping the Mountain West together. The fact that the Rebels did not submit, and hence, you got to believe, are tied at least for another year, and I would assume going forward through the current grants of rights, I thought was pretty significant for the Mountain West.
You're looking for positives and things to point at and say, all right, this means something. What you just laid out with UNLV is there because you look at 2026 and beyond, you're expecting them to be a linchpin for this conference. You're expecting them to take steps forward in basketball. And football-wise, could be the best brand you have.
currently, yeah, and it's Air Force and them, right?
Yeah.
Football wise, it's going to be, football wise right now, the Mountain West will be moving forward. New Mexico, Air Force, Wyoming, UNLV, Nevada, Hawaii, San Jose State, Northern Illinois. Did I leave someone out?
Say UTEP.
I did not say UTEP and UTEP. So those are your 9 teams. You'll have an 8-game schedule. You'll be able to play everybody. You'll get 2 home, 2 away. I like the number 9. You can you can discuss the content, the quality of the content all you want. But after this year, you will be playing league football games against Northern Illinois and UTEP, and I mean that's just where that is. But I thought the UNLV omission from putting in some sort of formal resignation, I thought, while not surprised, I just found it to be a bit significant.
Yeah, and for the Pack, they're at 8 basketball and
Correct.
7 football.
That's correct. Gonzaga is in for basketball. They've got the 5 departing Mountain West schools that I just gave you, plus Washington State and Oregon State for football as full-term members, and then Gonzaga doesn't play football, so they're at 8, which is really a tight number. Let's say they go to 9, right? So you play a 16-game league schedule. And maybe people, San Diego State fans are going to love it. Well, see, we get to schedule whoever we want. They're going to come play us, and maybe, we'll see. They also, there's a lot of talk. They think St. Mary's is coming in. The St. Mary's piece to the Pack is really interesting because I think there's a real fear of what St. Mary's is going to be post Randy Bennett. St. Mary's is not a place with a lot of money, not a lot of resources. They're not great facilities. They've been really good in basketball for the last decade plus because Randy Bennett has been great. Does St. Mary's continue to be St. Mary's after Randy Bennett is gone? Like Gonzaga will after Mark Few, right?
Yeah, they totally different foundation, I think, investment.
Well, different investment, different vibe, different facilities.
Arena, yeah. Now, I haven't been to St. Mary's, but
nor have I, but I've talked to a lot of people.
Gonzaga, and I've seen that, and this is all right, this is.
So when you went to Gonzaga, you went to the kennel, right? To the gym.
Yes.
What is 6,000 on campus?
Yeah.
And then they play a bunch of games at the Spokane Arena.
So they have that ability.
Yeah.
But when you're in that, you're like, this is a basketball arena. They easy to fill, sell out all the time. The students.
Well, they're the game. So in Spokane, I've always thought Spokane and Albuquerque are very, very similar in regards to that. Gonzaga's it. Like it's a big Washington State city.
Yeah, you see that just in terms of teams staying, because there were some teams that were staying where this was 2 years ago, I remember.
Yeah.
The hotel we're at, but they were playing
in Pullman. Pullman's 45 minutes. So to get to Pullman, you either fly into Spokane or you fly into, I believe it's Pocatello. Because Pullman's right on the Idaho border, but Spokane is a Washington State. Like that's always been, it's been a Washington State town. Now, Eastern Washington University is also right outside of Spokane in Cheney. It's Spokane, but they're FCS but they've been very successful. But they love their football up there. They've always loved Washington State. But Gonzaga has taken it over, and it is Spokane's team. They've got junior hockey. They got the Spokane Chiefs that play in the Western League. I believe the baseball team, the short season A team, is still called the Indians. The Spokane Indians play up there. But it's been a high school town, and it's been Gonzaga and Washington State. And I think they last. I'm not as convinced as everybody else is that St. Mary's joins the Pack.
It's one where if you were to look at the way college athletics is being run right now, and what you have is in terms of name, image, likeness, potential revenue sharing when the House settlement goes through. Yeah, St. Mary's has the track record, kind of that name brand. But if I'm sitting there, I'm going, I'm happy with Grand Canyon.
I'd rather have Grand Canyon than
Because
St. Mary's. Yes.
I believe that financial investing is going to be there, and that's a huge piece to the puzzle.
I think the upside is better. I think the market is better. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, St. Mary's is, they're in the Bay Area, but they're lost. They're 50th. In fact, I would argue I'd rather have Santa Clara. I think there might be more upside there. But so that's where that is. So that is now formally done. The lawsuit is still pending. The mediation, to all of our understanding, is still ongoing, which is now in its third week. The mediation between the Mountain West and the Pac-12, which I don't know if that's good, bad. I don't know what your perspective is.
The departing schools are like, oh, we're going to take you to court. You threatened us. The Mountain West is like, signed, sealed, and delivered.
Yeah, go.
Give me my check.
Yeah, I think the Mountain West feels really good. And like I said, I hope the Mountain West went into this with a floor. We're not going below this number. And whatever it is, this is the number that you're going to pay with poaching and exit fees. And if not, then let's go litigate it. And I don't think it behooves either league to tie it up in court. And you can tell me who's got the advantage. They both need to negotiate media rights. PAC needs to expand. It doesn't do anybody any good. And that's why they're trying to mediate this thing. All right, 505-246-0610. I got a bunch of emails from you already. Texts are coming in. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com is the email, and the text number is 505-246-0610. IPS comes by. I was out doing some yard work the other day. Officer Crespin came by. We talked for a little bit. They come by my house every day. Actually had a little issue with some sprinklers going. I got a call the other day. Hey, it's going on at your house. IPS monitors my home. It's not just about crime, although it is about crime, but it's about everything around it. Something's going on. They see something, they let you know. Well, when I travel, they go by my house every day. They do exterior checks. They'll pick up newspapers and mail and roll the garbage cans to the curb and back. If you've got a package delivered on the porch, they pick it up so the porch pirates don't get it. And, of course, they catch criminals. IPS is affordable private security. They install alarms and camera systems. They've got a state-of-the-art facility monitoring those cameras 24 hours and 7 days a week. That raises the level of security around your home and business. I ask you all the time, who's watching your home when you're not there? Make sure it's the good guys. If you have no security, you are way more likely to be victimized. 505-897-2420 is their number. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
For surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass.
All right, you guys are in on the text line and the email machine. Text line and the phone line, 505-246-0610. Emails, Jeff at sports@abq.com. JJ at sports@abq.com. We're talking about the Rockies and their historic performance. They are now 9-50. The worst start in the history of modern Major League Baseball. My favorite stat, and I will continue to give it to you because I know their audience turns over. Scotty Scheffler has won as many golf tournaments in the last month as the Rockies have won baseball games. They play every day. 3. This says, I see the let me go back and set this up. JJ, and I didn't know about this, and maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Major League Baseball has anti-tanking rules. So because the Rockies have drafted high the last bunch of years, they cannot pick higher than 10th this year?
So you can't have a lottery pick, which is now top 6.
Yep.
Because there's a lottery system. So they have ping pong balls in Major League Baseball for the top 6 in back-to-back years.
Okay. This says, I see the anti-tanking rules as a positive for the Rockies. They can't hide anymore. Ownership is forced to be different, sell, or keep getting ridiculed. I'm a Mets fan, and bullying works. It got rid of the coupons, the Wilpons. So basically what he's saying is good, man. Just continue to ridicule them and embarrass them, and they're going to have to sell the team. What do you think the Rockies are worth? I'll find it for you. I'll find a valuation for you. This one says, in honor of the new Happy Gilmore 2 trailer dropping and Scotty Scheffler's win at the Memorial, what are some of the common mistakes you see amateur golfers consistently make that prevents them from shooting in the 80s? The game is really, really hard. I mean, that's a great question. We'll ask Nick on Friday. How about that? Right? I mean, it's a fair question. Because, I make the mistakes all the time. It's inconsistent swings. It's forcing. Drinking. It's
yeah.
We all think we're better with a little swing lube in us.
I think it's with any recreational sport. I think, man, I'm pretty good. And then you realize, no, you're at the lowest level of recreational athlete.
But if I pour a little steering fluid into me, I'm not better?
Just having fun.
Yeah.
Enjoying it.
Yep. Rockies are currently valued, according to Forbes, at $1.475 billion, which seems like a bargain for a Major League Baseball team. If I owned them, you want to give me $1.5 billion? Take them. After taxes, I still think I'm pretty good. I don't know. Gus says Vic Schaefer. His name's not Vic. It's Warren, the manager of the Rockies. Equals Mike Loxley, ? Jeff, Mike Loxley's record with Lobo football was so bad, he could have 7 and 5 seasons at Maryland until he was 150 and still never get back to 500. Vic Schaefer is virtually locked in a lifetime losing record in a month with the Rockies. Okay. Fair. That's a fair comparison. Right? Yeah, you get buried like that. So Mike could win 3 national championships and wouldn't be eligible for the Hall of Fame because of that 600 winning percentage crap. Yeah. Survive and advance, Jeff Alou. Albuquerque baseball enters their toughest stretch of the season, 18 out of the next 24 away from the friendly confines of the lab. At this point, you're just trying to survive June so you can make a PCL run in July. They won. Didn't they win the series against the Space Cowboys? Pretty sure they did. Also over the weekend, New Mexico United was defeated in penalty kicks. So in Jägermeister, this is a new thing. This is another cup. This is USL Jägermeister Cup, right? Just USL teams?
That is correct.
All right. So they're out of the U.S. Open Cup. So this is the new greatest thing, the new greatest cup. And it's an in-season competition. The games do not count against USL standings, but you have to have a winner. And so they were in Phoenix. They played to a 3-3 draw and lost in penalty kicks. And so Phoenix gets the 3 points, and New Mexico United comes home with a point.
Yeah. It kind of took a page out of hockey for just in deciding that extra point, like in a regular season hockey game. Like
Shootout loss. Yeah. Gopher said, interesting divider spin, Jeff. I got the update on the phone thingy on Saturday. United coming home with a point. Somos Unidos. Nowhere did the update say the dividers lost. It's from Gopher. Play the positives, man. We're coming home with a point. Don't tell anyone you lost. We got a point out of it. They are still in first place in their group, correct?
Yes.
In the Jägermeister Cup. They go back at it. Colorado Springs is next into the lab, and they're home for a little bit now. After 3-3, man. So they've been scoring 3 goals a night. Isn't that the third game in a row that they've scored 3 now?
That is correct.
The other 2 had been 3-0 victories with clean sheets, but this was not 3-0. This was 3-3. This was a relative shootout. So they're good. All right. Richard says, congratulations, JJ. Jeff, his organization has done it. 9-50. Rocks are the worst MLB team ever. They could be. They might be the worst MLB team ever. Ken says, oh my goodness, how presaged was this? Jeff, OD callers deserve a trip to Omaha. Who said, as bad as the Mountain West Conference sucked this year, it was going to be a short stay for Fresno State? 19-4 and 8-3. Thanks for coming, Bulldogs. I don't know who it was. They said it was somebody was saying it was. I mean, it was a little bit of a down year for the Mountain West, and Fresno State got rolled. They're out. College baseball's been fun though. Do you watch any of that mess?
Yes.
Did you? I want to get into the Vanderbilt Wright State thing. That was really cool. Now, Wright State still has to win, but it was fun. It was a fun one, unless you're a Vanderbilt fan. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. When we come back, we got the NBA Finals getting ready to go. Want your thoughts on the weekend, what Scotty Scheffler did, and some rankings on college basketball transfer portals, winners and losers. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sports Animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Welcome to Monday and welcome to June. Welcome to our day. It is the opening drive on 95.9 FM. At AM 610, the Sports Animal, coming off of a really interesting weekend where history was made in baseball, not only pro baseball and Major League Baseball, but in the college ranks as well. A weekend in which your NBA Finals was set 125-108. The Pacers beat the Knicks. 6-game series goes to Indiana 4-2. Former New Mexico State Aggie Pascal Siakam won the Larry Bird Trophy as the most valuable player in the Eastern Conference Finals. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. JJ, I don't know if you caught this, and probably could have gone over this in the pre-production meeting. But at the end, I stayed around after the Pacers and Knicks game. It was the final NBA telecast on TNT. The rights package was up for bids, and Disney, ESPN, ABC got part of it. NBC's going to get it. And so the NBA, what is the NBA Today? That's the name of the show, the best show ever. Their crew's going over to ESPN. Ernie, and Chuck, and Kenny, and Shaq. But the emotion that was shown, Kevin Harlan did a big, long goodbye, the play-by-play guy. He, along with Stan Van Gundy and Reggie Miller and Allie LaForce. And then I wanted to see how Ernie would wrap it up. And I told you a couple of years ago, I got really briefly to meet Ernie. Charles Barkley introduced us to him, and I found him to be incredibly genuine, and everything I've ever seen about Ernie. And if you've ever seen the documentary, or what was it, 30 for 30, where he and his wife adopted the child from overseas, and the child is Lou Gehrig's disease, I believe is what it is. Is like genuine people. Is the emotion on that show? 36 years that show ran. I believe, and I know it's commonly thought that is the best studio show ever on television. And I agree with it because it was unscripted and it seemed genuine. Did you catch the end of it by any chance? Did you see the sign off?
I saw the clips on social media.
What's your thoughts on that show?
It was great for the basketball fan. It was real commentary back and forth. It wasn't analytical. It wasn't over-the-top screaming. It was some of the best to ever play the game, just giving their thoughts on what they saw in that moment.
About one thing that they did, and it was the personalities, they kind of told you the truth, right? And there were plenty of players who wanted to come after Barkley. And I say the truth. They told you what they felt to be the truth, and hence those were their real opinions. But so often on studio shows, and this is not a knock on anyone, man, but pick your NFL Today or Fox's NFL, and for the most part they're pretty complimentary of players. They don't go after tell you when a player isn't performing. It's kind of a code. And I always thought Shaq and Kenny and Charles Barkley, and now they're trying to ease Draymond Green into that. He's probably the next generation of that show. Kind of told you what they think. And if something was horrible or it was terrible, that's terrible, that's horrible, they tell you, right? I don't know if the show's going to be the same. I don't know how ESPN's going to do it, to be honest with you, because they kind of have their own NBA crew, and it's Stephen A. Smith. And with all due respect, I just don't know how Stephen A. Smith fits into that group right there. But I don't know if ESPN's going to try to do that. I think we're all going to miss that show.
So, do you think ESPN destroys it?
I don't know. I mean, how
wouldn't you just let them do their thing?
I would think you would. That's why you hired them, right? But what do you do with Stephen A. Smith and Malika Andrews and that?
Well, those guys, you can have different schedules. Like the TNT crew, they worked the playoffs, but that was like Thursday night. You weren't seeing Chuck and Shaq on Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
But NBC's going to have part of it too, right? They're not going to work every night. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Like the TNT games, it was, I know Thursday night, what that mean? It was TNT basketball. Okay. And it was that crew. And so where are you going to see Stephen A. Smith? The same place you see him. All over the place, though.
Is he going to infiltrate that show, you think? I just don't see how he works with them, man. And granted, it's his network, but it's their show. Stephen A. Smith, this is a fair question, I think. Who's a bigger star, Stephen A. Smith or Charles Barkley? Stephen A. Smith now, as he's gotten into the politics thing and running this threat that he may run for president. But, I mean, who do you think is a bigger star and more liked?
I'd say probably Charles is more liked.
Okay.
Stephen A. is in a lot more areas.
Even though he's in a lot more areas, I'm not sure he's a bigger star. Because Charles has the basketball background. But certainly there's a generation that never saw him play. I don't know.
People that wake up every day to that dude on TV.
No, that's right. And there's people who go to bed every Thursday night, as you say, and
Once a week, though.
Is it only once a week?
Yeah.
That show's only once a week?
Yeah.
Damn.
And they do, occasional Tuesday night, but sometimes it wasn't the whole crew. It might have been just Shaq or someone else.
Yeah,
but
and
like
then the playoffs
Thursdays
are there.
was, it was only Thursday night. Through the regular season.
Well, it was Saturday I watched on the other night. Yeah, but in the playoffs are there.
Thursday night through the regular season, and then they do the TNT playoff game.
Yeah, in the playoffs. It'd be interesting. I thought Kevin Harlan's sign-off was really good. They put together this collage of all, Craig Sager and all the great talent over the 36 years that they've had. Hubie Brown and Steve Kerr was on there before he went over. It just all the great talent that they've had. That was an incredible sign-off. It was, I don't know, man. I grew up in TV, right? That's my background. And so I watched Joe Diaz sign off on Friday night. Lester Holt too, who actually I've always enjoyed Lester Holt on NBC on the nightly news thing. And then it was a weird TV weekend, and I'm such a nerd for that kind of stuff because I spent so many years in it. Yeah, dude, I thought there was just a ton of emotion in all of the hours, and I don't know, it was just pretty cool.
And I think that they signed off on TNT, and one of the things I really do appreciate is they spent a lot of time this year crediting the people behind the scenes.
100%.
And the work that everyone did on that broadcast. That was 36 years, that relationship with the NBA and TNT. And I think where people are kind of looking at this as a goodbye is they don't trust ESPN. For the worldwide leader, they don't trust ESPN to not mess this show up.
To let them do what they do.
Because it's one, if you want to say goodbye to the people that have helped you so much that aren't coming over to ESPN, that's understandable, but they're going to be on TV next year.
But there's got to be a trust if they went over and did it, right? Like those guys are... And
so they weren't saying goodbye, but it almost felt like they were saying goodbye.
Yeah. Shaquille... So they went Shaquille, Kenny, Charles, and then Ernie. And Shaquille started... and he did his goodbye. He says, into that new network. We ain't coming over there. We ain't coming over to F around, right? And then Kenny went through his thing, and he said, and like Shaq said, we're not going to. And then he said the word on live TV, right? He says we're not going to bleep around, right? And so, to your point on that, I think what they're basically saying is we're coming over, we're doing our show, and ultimately it's ESPN's network. But I got to believe that there was an agreement with these guys. They're not. None of those guys need a paycheck. I don't think. Maybe. I mean, I'm sure they enjoy a paycheck. Don't get me wrong. But they weren't going to go over if it wasn't going to be done their way, right? They have a show that has been recognized as the best in the history of television in the format that they do, right? It's universally recognized as the best ever at what they do. And ESPN, whether you like ESPN or not, this isn't, and again, I work for ESPN, and so, full disclosure on that. But ESPN, JJ, is the best in what they've done for the last 5 decades. They've taken sports programming to a whole different world, okay? They're bringing in the best studio show probably in the history of television. And I listen to your point, when Shaq said, into that new network, we ain't coming over to F around. Like, I got to believe that there's been conversation, hey, we're going to do it our way. But it's going to be interesting, man. And where does the rest of the ESPN personalities fit in on this, on the NBA? Because they have an NBA team.
I think you're going to see some crossover.
Yeah.
But for this to work is you have your dedicated, this is their crew, their show, and then you have you have Saturday windows, you have Sunday for Stephen A. and everyone else to do their thing.
Yeah, I just got to believe those guys wouldn't have agreed to go over if it wasn't going to be done their way. And that's them saying, hey, you might be the big dog, but we're the big dogs. 505-246-06. I'm just wondering if any of you saw it. It was emotional, man. It was really, really, really kind of cool. Hey, planning a road trip this summer? Don't let your car's paint take the hit. On the Spot Automotive Detailing offers paint protection film that guards against rock chips and bugs and road debris. You can ask them about ceramic coating as well to keep the shine all season long. And plus, now with the intense sun here, it helps with UV oxidation damage all summer long. And while you're at it, talk to them about getting your windows tinted for a cooler and more comfortable drive. Also have them come out, and detail your vehicle. They are the best in the business at detailing your vehicle. Hence, On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Oh, and On the Spot means they come to you. They bring their mobile unit to you. You don't take it to them. You don't sit around in a waiting room. You don't have to waste hours. You don't have to drive there, get a ride back. None of that. I don't know where their office is, but they know where mine is. They come out to my office. And they'll do it for you. They are in the parking lot whilst you are working. You go outside and they're done, and your car looks and feels and smells like the day you took it off the lot. That brand new car feel, you don't get that brand new car price. On the Spot Automotive Detailing, protect your vehicle. It's one of your biggest investments. You're going to have it for quite a while. On the Spot's been voted best in the city because they are best in the city at what they do. Book and buy today online. It's all on their website. On the Spot Automotive Detailing is at otsdetailing.com. otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
505-246-0610. Come on in. Bruce sent me, I'm not going to sing it. He sent me, don't the girls all get prettier at closing time? He said, the girls all get prettier at closing time. It's almost closing time for the Pack. How much prettier is the former home of fearless Dougie getting? It's New Mexico State. Could the club of we have nothing, not even locker rooms, global football has all the resources, and we have a palm tree growing in our gym, end up in the Pack? I don't think so, JJ. But what if Texas State says, "Yeah, we're good. We're not taking half your share," and the Pac-12 needs? I mean, I'm going to put it at about 6-7% that New Mexico State's going to the Pac, but I mean they need a body, right? They need somebody. I just don't think it's going to be New Mexico State. They're going to make a run at UT San Antonio, who, by the way, beat Texas in the regional. They find a way to get it done with Texas State, don't you think? The Pac does?
Yeah. I think if you're Texas State, you're just holding out as long as possible to get the best deal.
But at some point, they're going to have to give notice to their conference to get out. Right? Because, I mean, whoever it is has to give notice to their conference to get out for next year. And I believe that's got to be done by the end of this month. 505-246-0610. The Pac-12, the 5 Mountain West teams that left for the Pac-12 gave their formal notice over the weekend. San Diego State, Colorado State, Fresno State, Boise State, Utah State. All are gone. But again, one of the key things there is that UNLV did not give that notice. College baseball was really cool, unless you're Vanderbilt or a Texas fan. So, top 2 seeds. Vanderbilt, number 1 national seed. They got beat by Wright State. I flipped over to this game, and it was like they needed one more out. Wright State was up 5-1. They needed one more out. Vandy had the bases loaded, got a base hit. Then they had a 2-run double, and it was 5-4. And you're like, holy bleep! And the dude came up, was 0 for 12 in the region, and hit a fly ball to right. And Wright State eliminated the number 1 seed. Texas was knocked out by UT San Antonio. So UTSA is going to the Super Regional. Wright State still has to beat Cincinnati to advance. But for the second time since national seeds were introduced back in 1999, the top 2 national seeds were both eliminated in regionals. The other time that happened was 2014 when it was Oregon State and Florida. But this was it was a pretty interesting look as you sat through and watched it. All right, 505-246-0610. Let's go to you. Hey, Jerome, you're on the Sports Animal. Good morning.
Gentlemen, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Hey, I just have to call and give a shout-out to New Mexico State Aggie, Pascal Siakam,
yep.
Eastern Conference MVP, Indiana Pacers. Man, it's just fun watching somebody from New Mexico State, in the spotlight and watch deliver on the basketball court. So it's pretty entertaining stuff. What do you guys think?
Yeah, we were having this conversation earlier, Jerome, and while they're big underdogs, and by the way, I think they got it right. I don't know if you saw the video of Tyrese Halliburton starting to step forward when they introduced, and the MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals, and he was starting to part his buddies and took 2 steps forward. Pascal Siakam, and he's like, oh, yay, buddy. But I think they got it right. And JJ and I were having a conversation. If they win, and I know they're big underdogs, and he continues to play well, and he's getting better, are we starting to have a conversation about a potential Hall of Fame career?
I don't know, the way that, he has a lot of accolades already under his belt. So, he's just fun to watch. He's so smooth, and he's lengthy, and the arms gets into the basket, and he just finishes. So it's just fun to watch. Knowing that, I watched him in the Pan American Center play, shook his hand after games and stuff like that. So it's kind of just exciting. But yeah, maybe so. Get a few more rings, and yeah, I think the conversation's valid. So.
Yeah, I think it's something. I think he shows up in big moments, which is key. Hey, for you and other Aggie fans, Tony Sanchez will be with us on Wednesday at 8:00. We're going to talk to Tony about spring and transfer portal and catch up with your football coach. So we'll have that for you on Wednesday.
Perfect. I'll be listening. You guys keep up the good work, man. I always listen to you guys.
Good to
have
hear
a good
you.
one.
Thanks. 505-246-0610 is where Jerome called. Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Rudy.
Good morning. I guess this is the time that you cue the music. Breaking up is hard to do.
Well, I imagine. I mean, it's one of those where you knew it was coming for, I don't know, a year or however long it's been, but now it's just official.
Yeah, and who knows what's going on with mediation. It's all, I mean, the best thing is you can't have spies anymore. No more Mountain West schools running back to the Pac-2 and reporting to mommy what went on that day. So hopefully the Mountain West can move forward. I think they're in a much better position. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure the Pac is going to add an 8th team, but it's not going to be the team they want, and it's not going to be under the circumstances they want. And right now, if you're Texas State, you're going, I'm not taking a half share. I want 2 shares.
Because they need me. Yeah, it's really, really interesting on the Texas State front because the Pac needs a team, and everybody knows that they're desperate, and they're still. I think they're still holding out. They believe that they're going to somehow get Memphis. I really think they believe that, and I've heard nothing that lends itself to that theory. And so, where are they going to go? And the other thing, there's a deadline coming up at the end of this month because whomever it is has to let their conference know. They got to give their conference a year advance notice that they're leaving to join the new league July 1st of the following year.
Yeah, it's going to get real interesting real quick. By the way, I got on the spot to come out here in February, and then they had to cancel because the weather was so bad. So I scheduled them again today this afternoon, and I look outside, and I'm going,
Getting crummy weather again. Yeah.
Crummy weather. I don't know. My luck with on the spot is not running that good, but they did my car a year ago, and they do a fantastic job. And so I'll put my 2 cents in about the job they do. And if people are out there looking, they come to your house. They did a great job.
Yeah, they're good.
So hopefully they'll pull it off again this afternoon.
All right, checks in the mail. All right, man.
Yeah. Take care.
See you. Yeah, they're really good. It's the Pac thing is interesting, JJ, because now what? Right, the clock is ticking, and within a month they've got to figure it out, don't they?
Yes, there's no other answer to it. Like, who's it going to be? We can have that debate. What I also think is interesting about this process, and now we're going to get there, is so the Mountain West schools going over saying, like, this is amazing. We're going to be so much better. Mm-hmm. This is great. And then you look at, Washington State and Oregon State, and that one of the notes I put together about the transfer portal, like, they were devastated. Mm-hmm. Like, their best players left because they're not excited about this. And so they're looking at it as like, oh, goodness, we just need to get back to floating and then see if we can start swimming. So it's a really interesting dynamic. The Mountain West schools going, yeah, bleep y'all, we're awesome now. And then Oregon State and Washington State going, we just need to get through this because we're losing all our good players.
Where are they going? I mean, Oregon State and Washington State, the reality, if it has not set in, is they're playing in the middle of the pack of the West Coast Conference in basketball, finishing, I think, 5th and 6th or 6th and 8th or something like that. They're not who they were, and they're probably never going to be. And I know it's really hard for them because, like, some of their facilities are really nice. They've had all that Power 5 money for all these years, and now they're not, right? They've been competing in the same league as USC and Oregon for all these years. And now they're in the same league as Utah State and Fresno State. And it's going to take a long time for them to accept who they are. Because I think the reality is, if in fact the Big 12 and or one of the other power conferences ever expand, the conversation is not around Oregon State and Washington State, right? It's around UNLV. It might even be around UT San Antonio before them, right? It's not about them. And it's a really hard reality. It's that fall from whatever grace was. And there's great traditions at both of those institutions. there have been great players, great coaches, great success at both Oregon State and Washington State. I mean, you go back and look at Mike Price's run with Drew Bledsoe and Washington State, the quarterback from Mark Rippon to the throwing Samoan Jack Thompson they've had great players there. Oregon State, Ralph Miller, the legendary basketball coach there, even before AC Green played there, and they had great basketball programs. When UCLA was on their run, Oregon State might have been their biggest challenger in the Pac-8. And then to the reality of we got left behind because nobody wanted us. But we're going to be good. We're going to rebuild it. The reality is you're playing not with Oregon and USC anymore, but with Utah State and Fresno State. That's who your peer institutions are. That's a hard reality right there. And hence, you look at it, and JJ, you were talking about how Washington State basketball lost double-figure scores. Lawan Watts, who went to Texas Tech. Isaiah Watts went to Maryland. Nate Calmise went to Wake Forest. Oregon State lost DeMarco Minor to Pitt. Nate Kings went to Syracuse. Michael Rataj went to Baylor. I mean, you know what it sounds like? You know what? Oh, it sounds like every other Group of Five team or non-power team who had their roster rated. That's what it sounds like, doesn't it? Because you know why? Because that's what they are now. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Brought to you by New Balance.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup.
Rockies lost. Rockies. Oh wait, yeah, that happens every day. 9-50. A little history for your Colorado Rockies. I'm going to continue to share my favorite stat of the year with you. Rockies have won 3 times since May 2nd. That's one full calendar month. So was Scotty Scheffler on the PGA Tour. Just blows my mind every time I tell you that. Your NBA Finals are set. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. It is the Pacers and it is the Oklahoma City Thunder. So you want to go back a little bit because so much talks about the Knicks because, well, they're the Knicks and they're in New York and because it's where every national talking head seems to be. The reality is, and I don't know that I find this really disputable, while the Knicks were good and they got through Boston lost Jason Tatum, but they might have won that series anyway. Probably would have. The Pacers are a better team than the New York Knicks. So where do the Knicks go? They want to fire their coach. People, they got to fire Tibbs. This wasn't about the coach. Coach did everything he could. This was, all right, now what moves are you going to make? This is the fact that I don't know that Karl Anthony Towns plays great defense. I think they got a bunch of dogs on there, but they need one more prolific scorer. I think that's going to be a regular go-to scorer. To me, they were built to beat the Celtics, and they did. And I think the thought process was, well, if we can get through the Celtics, we're going to be good. But they weren't built to beat Indiana, and Indiana's better.
Yes. They should have played better against Indiana.
Okay.
There's no reason that Indiana should be a tougher matchup than Boston.
Fair.
And Boston blew 2 20-point leads in that series.
Do you believe Indiana's better than the Knicks? I mean, they beat them 4 out of 6.
Yeah. I don't think it's a large gap.
No, I don't either.
Like when I look at a second prolific scorer, that's Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
At some point, like you've invested in Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, length, athleticism.
Do you think, because I do, that series was won, and I didn't believe it at the time, and I don't think there was any way to know it at the time, but as you go back and dissect it, Pacers won that series game 1. When they stole game 1, when they were down 17 with something, 4 minutes to go, they were down by 9 with a minute to go. And they came back and won game 1 on that crazy, bouncy Halliburton shot and the choke sign and then overtime. I mean, in retrospect, they won the series in game 1.
They absolutely did. And the Pacers are a really hard team to just quantify because they are good.
Yes.
And there's back-to-back conference finals, but no one really thought, oh, well, we don't think this team can win a championship, so are we really going to give them any credit? And what they did was crazy because they had this belief in themselves. No one has come back like they have from final minute deficit in NBA history. And they've done it 3 times in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
They've won crazy ways. They've won convincingly. Like, they have checked every single box you possibly could of postseason scenarios to be in, which is why I look at them and I am expecting them to go toe-to-toe with OKC. I like Oklahoma City overall, but to me, I don't see them getting their doors blown off in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I give them a chance. I'm with you. I like Oklahoma City. I think Oklahoma City is really, really good. I think they're complete. I think the way they're built is. But all that said, I think Indiana doesn't play statistically as good a defense as the Thunder does, but I think they play good enough defense. I think I think Indiana goes in offensive droughts, which concerns me at times, and that's where there's going to be moments, especially on the road in that building, where they go down and Hallie just jacks a couple of threes and misses them as their offense. I think they get a little lazy at times offensively, but that said, they bounce back usually pretty quick. It's usually a 3 to 4 minute spurt, and hopefully you don't get buried by that. I like them enough that I give them a chance. I think they're deep enough. I think they it's going to be interesting. Who do they put on Shea? Is it Neesmith? Is that who guards Shea? Or it's Nembhard. It's Nembhard. Obviously, it's Nembhard.
And it's the postseason, and we're looking at every possession as magnified.
Yep.
The Pacers scored more points per game than the Thunder in the playoffs.
That's right.
Now it's by 0.3, but I'm like, that's 117 points per game. It's fine offensively.
Yeah. Yep.
But what's going to be different is this is the best defense that they faced.
That the Pacers have faced. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Oklahoma City's terrific. But, all right, who was guarding in the series against Minnesota? Who was on Shea? Because I watched what Nembhard did to Brunson, especially in the last game, but really harassed him throughout the series. Nembhard was fantastic on Jalen Brunson. And so he's the guy that you're saying, all right, go shut down the MVP. I don't know that he shuts him down. But Nembhard was spectacular defensively. Now, can he do that again? I don't know, but I like my chances. Again, at +7, are the Pacers plus 750? I mean, I know that Oklahoma City's minus 750. But Nembhard had 6 steals in that game, 8 assists. Give me that guy. I got a guy from Gonzaga. I got a guy from New Mexico State. I don't know, man. Dayton, Obi Toppin. How about what that series meant to Obi Toppin, who's from New York and was drafted by the Knicks, and they gave up on him. And that emphatic dunk at the end that kind of sealed the whole deal, put that thing away. I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to it. I like Oklahoma City to win, but I like the Pacers. I give them a chance. Oklahoma City is one of the biggest betting favorites in the past 20 years. I just don't know that I think it's that cut and dry. Thunder are minus 750 favorites for game 1. 9-point favorites. Since 2005, only the Warriors in 2017-18 had shorter odds heading into the finals than the Thunder. They were minus 1075. That's insane against Cleveland. That was a hell of a team, though. I mean, that was right in the middle of the dynasty. All right, 505-246-0610. Pick your winner. Who do you like? Who you got this week? Starting this week. You got the Thunder. You got the Pacers. Who you like? Where are you going to watch it? All comes down to this. NBA Finals start on Thursday. Twin Peaks is your home court for every game. Catch every second of the action on wall-to-wall TVs. You got scenic views, cold 29-degree draft beers, and mouth-watering eats. Wings, burgers, flatbreads, pick it. They're all hot and they're ready for you. So grab your crew, order a bucket, settle in for the finals. It's all the way through the final buzzer. It's championship season, and there's no better seat than there is at Twin Peaks. And don't forget National Bourbon Week. It's coming up later this month. Twin Peaks is your celebration destination. From June 11th through the 16th, enjoy a selection of rare bourbons, cocktail specials, barrel select pours, all handpicked by the Lodge. And they got the U.S. Open teeing off June 12th through the 15th. Twin Peaks has every swing, every chip, every putt on wall-to-wall TVs. 29-degree drafts keep you cool. Great golf, great bourbon, the best views in the game. It's all at Twin Peaks.
This report is sponsored by Pay.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
You ready, Sprout? You ready?
My coach.
Rubber Club. Thunder Pacers. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Thursday, we will get the NBA Finals underway. JJ, you put this together. So, for Oklahoma City, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander makes $36 million. Isaiah Hartenstein, $30 million. Lou Dortz, $16.5. Holmgren, $10.9. Jalen Williams is a freaking bargain at $4.9 million. So they have been able to do this, and I think and you know this better than I. I'm going to lean on you a little bit. they have got a little bit of leeway, another year or two before they have to start paying everybody crazy number. But they've got Holmgren and Williams on these short deal or on these smaller deals. And you look down, you're like, okay, I mean, 10 million is a lot. I like it. 35 is a lot, but it's not the 70 that some people are making on these super maxes. You're like, okay, they got a little bit of runway and some room.
Plus, they've smashed the draft. The fact that Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, who both selected in the same draft class, have been this good this fast, crushing because they're on rookie deals.
Yeah.
Now, and that's why everyone's like, oh, they're deep, they're this, because you can pay Isaiah Hartenstein $30 million in the offseason and not worry about it. Because their talent development is fantastic, and is the bench players, too, that you look at and that they've brought in and they've developed. And the window is now.
The window is absolutely.
Holmgren and Williams are going to be on max deals sooner rather than later.
Yep. Pacers have got two guys at $42.2 million. And it's the two guys you would think is Halliburton and Siakam. Miles Turner at almost $20 million. Neesmith makes $11 million, and Nembhard at $2 million. They're not in a dissimilar situation, although they got two guys who are, two guys who are getting paid. And then you got the Neesmiths and the Nembhards and the guys that are getting stuff done. Benedict Mathurin making $7.2 million, which is okay. But Neesmith at 11, and then after that, like Thomas Bryant, who came off and was big for them, $2 million. They're in the same situation, and it kind of makes sense how these two teams who didn't go out and spend zillions of dollars on stars and stars. And did you see the piece on? I think ESPN did it yesterday. That Paul George is basically the piece that built both of these teams, right? Yeah. Paul George was a Pacer. And when he got sent to Oklahoma City, part of what came back was Sabonis and to the Pacers. And the Pacers traded Sabonis to the Sacramento Kings and got Halliburton and picks. And Oklahoma City then sent Paul George to the Clippers and got 5 picks, and they got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So Paul George basically built both of these two teams. Isn't that crazy?
Yes. Well, Paul George, his era in Indiana, though, was... He crushed it. Yeah. They just couldn't beat LeBron James doing it.
No. He this is nothing against Paul George.
The Paul George situation in OKC was they tried to do the big star thing, didn't work,
and then they cashed out and they hit the freaking lottery. Yeah, no, I'm not bagging on Paul George. The point that both of these two teams were in the finals, both traded Paul George and got hauls that have made the teams that are now in the championships. It's the Paul George Championship Series. 505-246-0610. Got another hour to go. Looking forward to it. Hey, I've asked the question. Is Scotty Scheffler more and more Tiger-esque every week? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it. You make my heart better. Started shit better than all my intentions. Life been shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquerque. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexico.
Sports Animal. Now it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Finals are set. Hockey final opens up this week, too. We're going to get... I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if I'm looking forward more to the Pacers and the Thunder, which I think is going to be really good, or am I looking forward to... And which one are you? Edmonton Oilers. This might be the year it goes to Canada, by the way. And the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, who have been just tremendous in the postseason. The Stanley Cup final, I believe, should be awesome as well.
The answer to that question is yes.
Yes, 100%. And that's
Enjoy
Wednesday.
The finals and final.
Yeah. Yeah, the final, and hockey's is singular, the Stanley Cup final, and the NBA is plural, the Stanley Cup final, or the NBA finals. Wednesday's hockey, Thursday's hoop. And it just should be. Those two teams have been playing so well. Edmonton lost their first 2 games of the playoffs to the Kings. And I believe has lost twice since. And they rolled through some good teams. Through some really good teams. So that goes. All right. Over the weekend, Scotty Scheffler won Jack's tournament. One of the greatest moments was when he went over to his wife, Meredith, to pick up their son, Bennett. Bennett's a little over a year old. And she says, be careful, he has poop stain on him. And he had this big brown stain. He had a diaper blowout and came through him. And Scotty's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, and you're like, any of us who have been there, like, whatever, man. So I'm picking up my kid and he's got poop or she's got poop. But he's carrying Bennett around with the poop stain. Bennett's going to be 17, 25 years old one day. And they're going to show the picture of how he pooped his pants when his daddy won. You know that, right? That's going to stay with him forever. Scotty Scheffler, the numbers are stupid. I'm going to give it to you again. If you've been with us all morning, you're sick of it. If you haven't heard it yet, it should boggle your mind. Scotty Scheffler has won 3 tournaments in the last month. Today is June 2. May 4 is when he won the Byron Nelson. He won the PGA Championship, and he won this tournament. He's won 3 tournaments in the same amount of time that the Rockies have won 3 games. Boggles your mind. But he didn't lose the lead over the week when he took the lead. He joins Tiger Woods as the only repeat winner of Jack's tournament at the Memorial. Woods won it 5 times. but no one had repeated at Muirfield Village since 2001. Scheffler's the first player to win 3 PGA Tour events by 4 or more shots in consecutive seasons. So he did it. I just every tournament goes down to the end, except for when Scotty wins. He wins by 4 or more because he's so much better than the field. He's done it in consecutive seasons. Nobody's done that since Sam Snead, Ben Hogan, and Byron Nelson in 1945 and 46. Ends the week with a handshake with Jack Nicklaus, who said he plays a lot like I did. I asked the golf guys on Thursday, or I'm sorry, on Friday when Nick Nee and Ben come in, is it sacrilege to say Tiger-esque? And he hasn't stacked up the numbers yet, but the domination, we thought we'd never see this again. And I don't know how long this sustains, JJ, but dude goes out and wins golf tournaments. There's 150-something guys in a field, and they're all really flipping good. And dude's running away from the fields every week. I'm not afraid to say Tiger. I'm not telling you he's Tiger. I'm not
it's
telling
Tiger-esque,
you, yes.
but it ain't Tiger Woods. And I know
Fair.
that's what you're saying.
Yes.
Because I think it's one of those reminders. It's like Wayne Gretzky. You can look at Connor McDavid or Alex Ovechkin and be like, wow, these are great players.
Yep.
And Scotty Scheffler is a great golfer.
Yep.
But then you run down and PGA Tour wins for Scotty Scheffler, like, oh, it's 16.
How old is he? Right? I mean,
he's 28.
Right.
But he can approach numbers to where he's that next shelf guy. Like, Tiger in some of the major tournaments he did it in and run away with it. It was just
Scheffler's not
ridiculous.
there yet. Yeah.
The way to describe it is just that.
Tiger-esque.
It's Tiger-esque because of the consistency and multitude of wins.
How are you not picking him going into the U.S. Open in 2 weeks? Right? I mean, you can say, oh, Bryson's playing well. That's fine. And Scotty just beat him at the PGA, didn't he?
2 Masters in 3 years. It's phenomenal.
And he just won the PGA
Championship. And he just got the U.S. Open and Open Championship. Get the Grand Slam.
And he is a freaking machine. He doesn't make mistakes, and when he does, he's making a 12-foot putt to save par. It's just bonkers, man.
The Tiger is 82 PGA Tour victories.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. We're not in the same ballpark, but the run that he's on is Tiger-esque.
You think could this guy consistently win?
No.
2 to 3 a year?
No, well, could he win 2 to 3? I mean, maybe. I just look. We started having this fantasy about Jordan Spieth when he won early. We were, look at Rory. I think
because if you put it in that perspective, you're like, well, if he's already won 3 in a month,
yeah, but it's a hell of a run.
Yeah, what would a year be like? And you're like, oh, if you win 3 a year, and even 10 years, he's still at. And like, oh, that's 30 wins to this total, and he's at 46.
It's not even close.
You're just like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's not even. I mean, that's kind of what you were talking about with the difference between Alex Ovechkin and Gretzky. Okay, he passed him in goals, but then you look at his point total and you're like, oh my goodness, it's a different stratosphere, right? What Gretzky did, total points. Tiger's on a run. I'm sorry, Scotty's on a run. And is it sustainable? Like, I'm going to sit here and tell you no, because nobody but that dude and Jack have done it. But, and we've watched guys go on runs, have great years. Like, didn't Xander win 2 majors a couple of years ago? Was it last year maybe even? Rory went on runs early in his career. Like, injuries, wear and tear, daddyhood, whatever it happens to be. I don't want to say never, but the odds of it, the answer is enjoy what you're watching. Well, Jeffy's boring. Whatever, man. Watch the skill of this dude. Watch the dude play golf, and it's just sick. And how hard he hits lines, like he's going over the dog legs, and it's phenomenal. Just enjoy it. You say, well, nobody's going to be like Tiger. I don't know, man. The way this guy's playing golf is very Tiger-esque.
That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, he's not Tiger Woods. He doesn't have the accomplishments. He doesn't have the impact on the game. But the run that he is on currently, he's been number 1 in the world for like 107 weeks. Well, Jeff, yeah, but Rahm and those guys are on the other tour. Okay, but when they play together 4 times a year, what happens? I'll take him. Like if you say him versus the field, I'll always take the field versus anyone. I even when Tiger was playing, I mean, it's just the odds. But why would you take anybody but him individually in the U.S. Open coming up in a few weeks the way he's playing? He's long, he's straight, he makes putts, his short game's insane. His iron game is just bonkers. The chances that he gives himself a birdie on every hole. His demeanor's perfect. It's just what we are watching is just insane. I just enjoy it. John says, good morning, fellas. Scotty wins with a 70 on the green yesterday for another win under his belt. The dude is just too good. Scored a 70 on Sunday. So awesome to watch. Yeah, appreciate you, John. Yeah. Yeah, it was a hell of a watch. And Ben Griffin, by the way, that kid is playing. He's on a run. The kid that finished second, Ben Griffin, is really good. He won the week prior. He's kind of a little magician, too, now. There's good golfers, man. What are they going to do without Tiger? They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Really, really, really good golfers out there. People are watching. The number, like I said, we went over the numbers last week. People are watching. It really is good. All right, 505-246-0610. Dodgers and Yankees over the weekend. Want to take a look back at some of the biggest stars in the game going at each other as a World Series post view and maybe a preview. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one.
JJ, I don't know if you've seen this. The College Football Hall of Fame ballot is out. I don't know how many votes you get as a voter, but almost every guy I'm going to read to you right now, this feels like they should be in the College Football Hall of Fame. And this is just part of the list. Colorado running back Eric Bieniemy. Again, this is about your college career. Oklahoma State's wide receiver, Dez Bryant. Kijana Carter at Penn State was great. Aaron Donald, the defensive end at Pitt, was great. Marvin Harrison at Syracuse was fantastic. Percy Harvin, the wide receiver at Florida. Alabama running back Mark Ingram. Florida State kicker Sebastian Janikowski. Boise State quarterback Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore absolutely should be in the College Football Hall of Fame. Cam Newton. Antoine Randall L. at Indiana. Ndamukong Suh at Nebraska. And then how about this? Coaches. Former Lobo coach on the ballot. And TCU coach and Alabama coach. And Texas A&M coach Dennis Franchione's on the ballot. Ralph Friedgen, Gary Patterson, who was Fran's defensive coordinator here at New Mexico. Chris Peterson, the longtime Boise State and then Washington coach Tommy Tuberville. Like almost every one of those that I just named you feels like they should be in the College Football Hall of Fame, don't they?
A lot of strong cases.
Wow. Like I don't know how many votes you get. I don't know how I would handle that ballot. Love to see Fran get in. I don't know how Lobo fan feels about that. How would you feel about Dennis Franchione getting in the College Football Hall of Fame? I don't even know where I would start there. I might start at Kellen Moore. You know how I feel about Kellen as a college player. I thought Kijana Carter was beyond great, and I think Eric Bieniemy should be in. That might be where I start. Antoine Randall L. was insane in college. I don't even know where I would start. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. I mean, do you have a favorite on that list? Like, is there somewhere you would start? Because I think I would have to start with Kellen.
Kellen Moore, it seems so simple.
But
great college career.
But he won't get that love from around the country. Well, it was only Boise State. But you go look at his numbers in college. As good as there's ever been. Which coach do you like on there? Franchione, Friedgen, Gary Patterson, Chris Peterson, Tommy Tuberville. Chris Peterson lead that list for you? Right? I mean, what they built up at Boise? This candidate list is so strong. But it's wow. Every one of them feels like they should be in. All right, I talked to you about the Dodgers and Yankees over the weekend. Did you catch any of it?
I did.
It's pretty good. Dodgers beat the tar out of them on Saturday. But Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani became just the second reigning MVPs to homer in the same game. They did it on Friday. Now, think about it. Interleague baseball is relatively new, and guys going back and forth. I mean, MVPs don't normally change teams, man. Teams find a way to re-sign MVPs. The only other time it happened was in 2003, Miguel Tejada and Barry Bonds. And if you'd have told me Miguel Tejada was an MVP, I would have forgotten. Ohtani and Judge each have 63 home runs over the last 165 games, which is insane that they have the same number. Like, sometimes stats just boggle my mind. Ohtani's 3-run home run helped the Dodgers in the opener. Max Muncy hit 2 home runs. By the way, this might have been the resurgence weekend for Max Muncy.
Yeah.
I mean, what a weekend he had. I heard a stat, and I had to rewind it. It was, I don't know why I was watching the pregame baseball. I was just flipping around. I think Tim Kirchin said the Dodgers have, and I don't know if this means currently, 14 pitchers on the IR. Did you hear that stat?
Yep, they have 14.
Currently.
Yeah.
Again, let that seep into your melon for a minute. They currently have 14 pitchers on IR. And yet they're still winning, and they're throwing Yamamoto out there. And do you have who they are, by any chance? Because who could survive having 14 pitchers on IR? Just one organization. Yankees 7-3 win last night, by the way, knocked the Dodgers start Yoshinobu Yamamoto out after 3 2/3. He gave up 3 walks, 7 hits, which is tied for the most he's allowed in his career. It was star-studded, and the place was packed. It had a World Series feel to it. 14 pitchers are on the IR.
Well, just, Blake Snell.
Yeah.
And Glass now. Both on 60-day.
2 frontline starters.
IL.
Yep.
Kirby Yates.
Yeah.
Closer. Michael Kopech. Big bullpen arm.
Big bullpen arm.
60 IL.
Yeah.
Luis Garcia. IL. Now, it's not all of them, but that's just...
It's insane, man.
The sample size of...
I mean, almost no organization can do that, which is just insane. That's where they are. That was some of your baseball over the weekend. The other one was the Rockies. As you well know, they lost 5-3 to the Mets and are now 9-50 and are the worst start in modern Major League Baseball. 9-50. They've won 3 games in a calendar month since May 2nd. 3. Kind of insane. The other stuff over the weekend that was pretty big, for certainly around here, the Mountain West Conference did receive notice at a $5,000 payment from San Diego State and Boise State and Colorado State and Fresno State and Utah State that they will be leaving the Mountain West Conference in a year and joining the PAC. What was somewhat significant, I do believe, is that UNLV did not give notice. We didn't expect them to give notice. But JJ, I think as far as moving forward and being a linchpin, and because otherwise that toppled everything. There's still mediation. There's still conversation. You still have lawsuits. And the PAC's got to figure out what they're going to do with a full-time member to get them to 8. And I think they got about a month, because if it's Texas State or whomever it happens to be, that school is going to have to give 1 year notice to their current league as well. And they got to get up to 8. What happens if they don't?
What do you think has prevented the PAC from being able to get one of those other teams to sign on? Is it really, despite the, hey, we're awesome, we're the PAC, whatever, come join us, why are you then looking at a team and saying, we'll give you a half share?
Because half share is more than you're getting in the Sun Belt, theoretically. And come join us, there's better opportunity for growth. So a couple of things. When you say what prevented them from getting those teams, so the Memphis conversation is different than the Texas State conversation, right? Memphis and Tulane and that conversation is different than Texas State because those two schools are in the American where they're getting more money in television revenue, where they feel that the competition in their league in the American is at least on par with what they would be getting into in the in the Pac-12. And they wouldn't have to have the extra travel expense and all that. They feel that playing South Florida and North Texas and UT San Antonio and East Carolina and Army is just as good as playing San Diego State and Fresno State and Boise State. Now, whether it is or not, you make up your mind. But the money is not any better or better enough to make them say, you know what, we're going to make the jump. It doesn't make any sense. Now, there's fans at Memphis that want to get out. Everybody wants to get out of the league they're in, right? The San Diego State fans, the Boise State fans who threw a damn party this week and popped the champagne when they got out of the Mountain West. Memphis fans feel somewhat the same about the American. I don't know, man. Do you really believe Oregon State, Washington State, San Diego State, Boise State, Colorado State is better exponentially and worth the extra travel cost than playing Army and Tulane and Navy and East Carolina and South Florida and North Texas and UTSA and UAB and FAU? I mean, you can make an argument either way. And so is it worth it, and is it worth the financial piece and taking the risk? And so far Memphis said, yeah, no, it's not. And you guys can't promise us any more money. So why on earth would they do it? Why am I traveling all over the country and throwing my softball team and send them to Pullman, Washington? Robert, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Robert.
Hi, how you guys doing? Regarding the PAC teams or teams going over the PAC and their $5,000, why do they even pay that? You know, why don't they just say, as they've done for the rest of the stuff, say, we don't have to pay nothing. It's not since contracts don't matter to anybody, we shouldn't have to pay anything. You know, they're playing like they could just get out of anything. You know, so if it was Mountain West, I'd play hardball and say you're giving everything, you know, or take them to court.
Well, first of all, contractually, I don't think anybody's even having a conversation about the exit fees. Right, I think they know contractually they have to pay exit fees. The issues about the poaching.
But contracts don't mean anything at this point.
Well, but I think they understand that one they're not going to win. This is about the poaching fees.
Yeah, but if that poaching fee doesn't mean anything, what does any other contract mean?
Well, because it's additional, and I see what you're saying, but it's an addendum, an additional fee, and I think it's pretty much understood that the poaching fee is different, that the exit fee is something that they're going to have to pay. But I hear what you're saying on that. What was the other point you just made? Because I had a thought on that.
I think that was it. Just the dirty play, and I think the Mountain West should now play hardball and just go after every penny.
Yeah. All right, thanks, man. I appreciate you. I think they are. I mean, I think that's honestly, I think that's why this has lasted so long, JJ. I think the Mountain West has basically drawn a line and said we're not dipping below a number. I don't know this for a fact, but I got to believe the reason that this has gone on into a third week of mediation is that I got to believe the Mountain West has said, look, we'll give you some relief. Here's the number, but we're not dipping below this number, and this is, you guys are going to owe us this, and if not, let's litigate it. And whether that number is like 120 million, 110, I don't know what it is. And I don't even know that for a fact, but I got to believe that's why this has gone on so long. Why else would it have? JJ, who needs to wrap this up more? The PAC or the Mountain West? The Mountain West needs the money to pay what they have promised Air Force and UNLV. The PAC needs to know what they're doing moving forward to get a TV deal and be able to go out and sign to invite, to solidify an eighth member. I mean, they're both, like, dragging this on behooves nobody here. I'm not sure who you think it is more desperate, but they both have, I believe, incredible incentive to get this thing done. and get it done relatively quickly. And what relatively quickly means anymore, I don't know, because this thing is dragged on for how long. So who needs to do it more? Yes. And they both want this done, man. I think they're both tired of lawsuits and litigation and mediation and uncertainty. But we're kind of hitting that point now. 505-246-0610. Emails are coming in this morning. I'll get to them. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. When we come back, Deion Sanders went out and spoke, ripping the pre-draft reports that his son, Shador, didn't interview well and hurt himself. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
or surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports.
Right? And remember this, right? Shedeur was going to be a first-round pick, maybe the first, maybe the fifth, somewhere in the first round. Right? So, he was going. Quote Dion, this is on the podcast. Quote, "It did hurt, but the Bible says God uses the foolish things to confound the wise. There was some foolish stuff that went on, but that gave them something that they needed." He continued, "Like that edge that Tom Brady had. It gave them the edge that you had. It gave them the edge that I have. Folks said we aren't going to be nothing, but we had to prove that. It gave them the edge that they needed. Both of them." End quote. He took offense specifically. There was, and JJ, was there a report that he wore headphones during meetings with NFL teams? Like, was it up on his head? Like, how did he go into a meeting with an NFL official wearing headphones?
It's a great question.
But that was a report out there? I guess I hadn't heard that one. Quote Dion again. "When you sit up there and say something like, he went into a meeting unprepared, like, dude, Shedeur Sanders, who has had 6 different offensive coordinators, who is still functioned and leveled up every time we brought somebody new in, and you're going to tell me he was unprepared? You're going to tell me he had on headphones? Anybody who knows my son understands he's a professional. He's going to go into a meeting with headphones on? Y'all, come on now." That was his quote. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm going to guess Daddy wasn't there. I hear that anybody, let alone Shedeur, goes into a meeting with NFL executives, is on a job interview with headphones on. It makes me scratch my head. That can't be right. I have no problem with Dion defending his son. I don't. I don't. I wouldn't have expected anything less. He didn't say anything that I think is explosive or is derogatory or is. I'm fine that Dion went out and defended his kid.
Yeah, I do think what was interesting specifically were the pre-draft meetings, because there was a lot of stories coming out of Shedeur being unprepared, or I think the best way it was described was he was acting like he was on a recruiting visit. It was like, "Oh, you need me more than I need you. So what's the deal here? What are you offering?"
Yeah, and there was a lot of that, right? It didn't just come out of one place. And so it makes you think that there's something to it. Do I think Shedeur might have been a little cocky? If that's what people were saying, there was just too much smoke on that. Too much of the same type of message coming out of too many different places to think that somehow this was fabricated or there was a agenda to knock Shedeur down. You know what question I would have liked Asante Samuels to ask is, how much do you think you, Dion, I'd love to hear the answer on this, played in Shedeur falling? Meaning people, you've heard the commentary. People don't want to deal with the, pick your word. I've heard the word circus. I don't know that I buy that word, but all that comes with having Dion and all that brings around my backup quarterback. That's a question I'd love to hear Dion answer.
When it got to that point, I don't think any of us thought he was falling in the 5th round.
Mm-mm. There was no way he was falling to the 5th round.
So it was a lot of the initial concern was, we take this guy in the 1st round. It doesn't work out. Is Dion going to be angling to be the head coach? Mm-hmm. It was as you said, about the noise around it, but I think a lot of it was manufactured as opposed to really thinking that Deion Sanders is going to be able to be like, well, you drafted Shedeur, so now I got to be the head coach.
Mm-hmm. Especially in
certain teams don't work that way.
Especially in certain situations, right? I mean, in certain places. Nathan Zagora is the color analyst for the Cleveland Browns. I guess he's been around that franchise for over a decade. And he said that Shedeur's looked good. His quote was, his ball placement is elite. His ability to layer throws is elite. I think he's got plenty of arm strength. We've seen that on display certain times in camp. There's something about Shedeur. I got a chance to interview him. Very confident, but not a cocky way. He has a lot of belief in himself. And I like him a lot. I like that kid a lot. That was what he said. So that's the color analyst. That sounds like the Lobo guy coming on and telling me what a great spiral Clayton Mitchum throws, right? And you guys, unbelievable ball. I mean, yeah, I get it. The radio guys for a team come on and tell you how great they are.
Hype machine.
That was Forrest sitting here coming out of camp and telling me how great the Isotopes are going to be. I've seen it and I watched, and the talent's unbelievable. They're in last place. I get that. So I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. But the relatively impartial people who have been at Browns camp, who have been reporting on this, that you listen to, right? The reports have been good. Again, he doesn't only have to beat out Joe Flacco here. I have no worries about Kenny Pickett. I'm not worried about Kenny Pickett. They invested a third-round pick in Dylan Gabriel. That means they really like Dylan Gabriel, too. And I'm not sure that he outpaces Dylan Gabriel. Now, I haven't heard much about Dylan Gabriel. Have you, coming out of camp?
No, because no one cares. Shedeur Sanders is the headline, and this is part of what people maybe a little bit hesitant about. But you're the NFL. You're going to have headlines. Everything makes news. Everything is going to be talked about. In this case, it's really fascinating to me was, did they really have Dylan Gabriel rated that much better than Shedeur? Or was that just at that moment in time, that regime going, we don't want this noise, pushing it off long, and then someone, most likely ownership, came in and was like, what are we doing here? It's 5th round and Shedeur Sanders is there. Let's go.
Also coming out of the Browns quarterback room. I mean, we keep talking about, noise is not a good thing. So last week, Joe Flacco, we had this conversation about Joe Flacco being asked, are you a mentor? Do you need to mentor Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders? And Joe Flacco, I'll paraphrase it, basically said, look, man, if they learn from me the way I am and the way I prepare, that's great. But I'm here to play football. I believe I can play football. I believe I'm the starting quarterback, right? Basically, I can still play. And I'm brought in here to play football, not to teach these guys, right? Is that kind of the paraphrase?
Yeah.
All right. Chris Canty played with Joe Flacco with the Ravens. Chris Canty is a host, a radio host on ESPN. Chris Canty went off a little bit on what Joe Flacco had to say and how he said it. Canty, this is a former teammate of Flacco, quote, mentoring a young player is only going to make that player better, which makes the team better. You're only as strong as your weakest link. The whole point of the exercise is that everybody makes everyone better. That's why you practice. You're making each other better. It's what you're supposed to do. You do that with the reps on the practice field, but you also do that by sharing points and notes in the film room. It's a ridiculous answer from Joe Flacco. There's no guarantee Joe Flacco is going to be healthy for 17 games, especially at 40 years old. End quote. There's no guarantee anybody's going to be healthy for 17 games. How many damn young quarterbacks at 21 or 23 have been unavailable for 17 games? I struggle a little bit. Canty continued. It's stupid to not consider trying to do everything that you can to coach these other guys up. Nobody's saying you have to do your job at a lesser level in terms of performing on the field, but if you can happen to impart some wisdom on those guys who you're spending 16 hours a day with in training camp, why wouldn't you do that? Just because you're mentoring doesn't mean you can't be the starting quarterback. His answer is nonsensical. I hate going so hard at one of my former teammates, but it's one of the dumbest things I've heard Joe Flacco ever say. Joe Flacco didn't say that, did he? He said if they can pick up for me and I'll help them in the room. Like, he never said I'm not going to help him. He said, my job isn't here to be a teacher. My job is to be a quarterback. Which way you siding on this one? Because I'm with Flacco on this.
Yeah, I'm fine with what Joe Flacco said on it. I think that was over the top. Need to make a take because
you got a mic in front of you.
Because it's your radio show.
Yeah.
Which, hey, I get it. Been there, done that, but that doesn't mean that every take is one that you should consider as like, yeah, that's a great take. No.
Jeremy Fowler, the former Albuquerque Tribune writer, who's a senior NFL reporter for ESPN, was talking about what Cleveland's got. He says, like you and I were saying, he doesn't expect that they're going to keep 4 quarterbacks. Quote, this is Fowler. I still think they look at quarterback pieces like currency and value. So if somebody goes down with an injury in training camp, they have someone they can potentially trade. Maybe it's Pickett. Maybe it's one of the rookies. But I can see that sort of maneuvering. I have a hard time thinking they keep 4 on the roster. I think it might be 3, and then you can try a practice squad or seek a player. You and I both believe Pickett's the guy they trade, right? If you can get something for him. I mean, I don't believe unless, I mean, I don't know. If someone comes to you and say, I want Dylan Gabriel, you just spend a third on him. What's it worth to you? It's got to be a second, right? If you want him. Potentially a starting quarterback in the NFL. I'm asking a higher price than I just paid. 505-246-0610. We'll wrap it up when we get back. Anything that you want to get through, you can. Still got time to get in. We'll get you ready to go through your Monday on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM.
You know, the one thing about the Rockies you got to say is the fans for the Rockies are still supporting those damn guys. Now, I know the Yankees, when they played the Yankees, I know that was the Yankees there, but they had about 38,000 people at those games.
Yep.
And they're getting decent crowds. I mean, like last year even, they averaged over 30,000. They're about in the top 10 of crowds for baseball. So congratulations to that. And then the last thing, Dennis Franchione, I really don't think he belongs in the Hall of Fame, but maybe you can tell me why more than I just know that his record was, like 120-something over maybe 100. I'm talking about major schools. Now, when he was at Pittsburgh State or wherever it was, he had a fabulous record, 50-something and like 10 or something, but I mean, he had a losing record at UNM. He's 33-36.
Yeah.
He had a decent record at Texas.
So his overall head coaching record was 213, 135, and 2.
Yeah, and then look at the smaller schools that he was at, though. I mean, he had a great record there, so that's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, that
I don't know if
matters,
they
too.
base it on maybe both or not. I'm just saying
The voters
I
will
didn't think he
decide,
belonged
Fred.
in the
Yeah,
Hall of Fame.
he's on the ballot. The voters will decide if he gets in. So, I mean,
Okay.
he's on the ballot. All right, man. Appreciate you.
All right, good job.
Thanks.
As always, you guys do a great job.
Thank
See
you,
ya.
Fred. Yeah, I mean, Fran, and if you missed it earlier, the College Football Hall of Fame ballot came out, and Dennis Franchione's on there. So is Gary Patterson. They're on the ballot. But Dennis Franchione at Pittsburgh State and at New Mexico and TCU and Alabama and Texas A&M. And no, I mean, does he deserve to be in? You guys decide. That's what the ballot. They'll decide on the ballot. 4-3 in bowl games. Fran was a hell of a coach, man. He was a hell of a coach. And I mean, I'd love to see him get in. I always liked Fran, but we'll see. All right, tomorrow we'll get more into the NBA playoff, the final. Tomorrow we will have the NFL camps are going on. Got a bunch of stuff coming up this week. We're going to start getting you ready for the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame induction banquet, which is coming up at the end of the month, and we're going to feature some of the people who are going into the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame a little bit this week. Tony Sanchez is going to be with us coming up on Wednesday. He is New Mexico State's head football coach. Really haven't had a conversation with him since spring ball ended. Just want to get a feel from him on where the Aggies are, how they came out of spring, and then kind of what the portal did to them, right? Because like everybody else, it's real. Heard with Colin Coward is next. The Jim Rome Show follows that. 2 Men On comes in at 4 o'clock, and then we're back with award-winning radio. We'll start tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Adrian, great work on the visual side. Appreciate you as always. It looks great. He is JJ Buck. I am Jeff Symbieta. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.